Good night. It is 10 p.m. already, so let's start our live stream on Declassified Malaysia. So I will wait for like a few minutes for all the people to come in and join me. So whoever already joined me, you can ask me any question. Hello there, Fitri, Muhammad Leo, the first one to arrive. So tonight we will talk about 31st August 1957 and 31st August 1963, and also Cobalt Commission report. If we have time, we will talk about Cobalt Commission report. I believe that about 31st August also, I think it will be a lengthy discussion on that one. If you have any question that you prepare, that you can just put it. Oh, my internet, there is poor connection just now. I don't know what happened. My connection suddenly become very poor, but it's okay. So we wait for a few more minutes for more people to arrive, and then we can start our discussion on 31st August 1957. So it is 30 August today. Tomorrow is 31st August. Okay. Let us look at this first about 31st August 1957. I think everybody is already here. First, let us look. I think I'm live, right? I'm live. Everybody can hear me? So let us talk about 31st August 1957. So to understand 31st August 1957, you look at the Federation of Malaya Agreement 1957. Hello Ajuri, hello John, hello everybody. So first let us talk about 31st August 1957. Okay, thank you Fitri. Everybody can hear me just fine. Increase your phone volume or your laptop volume. So let us look. Hi Nas. Let us look into Federation of Malaya Agreement 1957. Okay, I have in front of me in my laptop here is the Federation of Malaya Agreement 1957. If you Google Federation of Malaya Agreement 1957, it is very hard to find this agreement online. I don't know why, it's very hard to find this document. I take some time and then I found this document somewhere. But if you try to find Independent of Malaya Act 1957, you will find it. Very easy, you can find the Independent of the Federation of Malaya Act 1957. But what we are talking about today is the Federation of Malaya Agreement 1957. Okay, this agreement was signed before Independent Act of the Federation of Malaya 1957. Hello Fauzi, Waalaikumsalam. Okay, this the Federation of Malaya Agreement 1957. It was signed on 5 August 1957. 5 August 1957. Before 31st August 1957. It's like 1 month before the Federation of Malaya become independent. The agreement for the formation of Independent of the Federation of Malaya 1957 was signed on 5 August 1957. I think a lot of people don't know that the Federation of Malaya Agreement 1957 was signed on 5th day of August 1957. Even if you us the Malayan people, they still not they still, I don't think they can answer it. Even our politicians, they don't know that the Federation of Malaya Agreement was signed on 5th day of August 1957, and it was signed by the British, which is Donald Charles McGillivray, who on behalf of the Majesty government on part, and then all the rulers, the Malay rulers, signed the Federation of Malaya Agreement 1957. So the one that signed the Federation of Malaya Agreement 1957, that signed for the independence of the Federation of Malaya 1957, is the British and the Sultan in the 11 states of the Federation of Malaya. It's not Tunku Abdul Rahman, it's not the UMNO. No political party are signing this document. It was signed by the Sultan, the rulers, and the British. Why the Sultan are signing this agreement on behalf of the state of Malaya, of the Federation of Malaya? Because the Sultan is the sovereign ruler of the Federation of Malaya. They are the sovereign ruler. So the British must sign it with the sovereign ruler of the Federation of Malaya. At that time, that is the sovereign ruler of the Federation of Malaya, and the owner of all the territories of each of the state in Kelantan, Pahang, Perak. The rulers are the owner of all that territories. They are the sovereign rulers of all that states, and they must agree for the formation of the Federation of Malaya 1957. After they agree, they sign, and then the Federation of Malaya 1957 can become a new independent state of the Federation of Malaya. So before the agreement of Federation of Malaya 1957, there is another agreement before that agreement, which is in 1948. Federation of Malaya Agreement 1948. Before Federation of Malaya Agreement 1948, there is Malayan Union in 46. So a lot of the Malay peoples, they don't want the Malayan Union, and then they agree to form the Federation of Malaya 1948. And then after they go to the process of the independence, they get the Reed Commission, they get the election, and then they agree to form the new agreement, which is Federation of Malaya Agreement 1957, and it was signed on 5 August 1957. And the effective date for that agreement is 31st August on 1963. And if we compare this, how this process are happening for the formation of the Federation of Malaya, it is the same like Malaysia Agreement 1963. Malaysia Agreement 1963 was signed on 9 July 1963. After that, the effective date is 16 September 1963. This is a normal process everywhere. So everybody that signed the agreement for the independent country, or want to have some association and integration with other states and form a new federation called Malaysia, they signed that agreement, and then they signed it before they become independent. That's why Malaysia agreement was signed on 9 July. Even though we are still colonies, this is a normal process everywhere in the world. You sign it when you are still colonies, and the effective date is on 16 September 1963. When the Federation of Malaya is still colonies, British colonies, on 5 August 1963 and 1957, they signed the Federation of Malaya Agreement 1957, and then the effective date is on 31st August 1957. So if you look at the federal constitution, the federation is the federation formed based on the Federation of Malaya Agreement 1957. So that federation is Federation of Malaya 1957. And the Merdeka Day also defined in the federal constitution. on 31st August 1957. So that Merdeka Day is for the Federation of Malaya 1957. You know, when we form Malaysia, Federation of Malaya is still there. Now it becomes States of Malaya. Now it becomes States of Malaya. That States of Malaya, because when we Article 1 of the Federal Constitution, when we sign it, we have Article 1, A, B, and C. A, States of Malaya, and then B, Borneo State of Sabah and Sarawak, and then C, Singapore. And that States of Malaya is Federation of Malaya. So that Federation of Malaya is the one that defined in the interpretation or the interpretation act and defined in the interpretation article in Article 160 that get independent on 31st August 1957. That federation is still exists. So you don't need to be angry that there is a Merdeka Day in the Federal Constitution. That Merdeka Day is for the Federation of Malaya. But the problem is, what is definition of federation for Malaysia is not there. If you look at the interpretation ordinance and the state constitution of Sabah and Sarawak, you will get definition of Malaysia Day, and you will get the definition of federation. Federation before 1963 and after 1963. So they are different federation defined in our constitution of Sabah and Sarawak. Very clear, but that definition is not in the federal constitution. So that is the problem on federal constitution. So that is 31st August 1957. It is establishment of a new country, new states. We call it Federation of Malaya 1957 on 31st August 1963, based on the agreement on 5 August between British and the rulers of the Federation between the 11 states ruler of the Federation of Malaya at that time. So if you can try to find this document. It is in Google, you can just find it, but a bit difficult. The Federation of Malaya Agreement 1957, not the Independent Act of the Federation of Malaya 1957. That is different act. That is act by the British. What we want to look is here is the agreement, that agreement. And now we want to look at 31st August 1963. That one just now I talked about 1957. Now we are talking about Malaysia Agreement 31st August 1963. So to know what happened on 31st August 1963, we can look at the declassified document. What happened before, during, and after 31st August 1963. Okay, what happened before 31st August 1963 is, you look at the amendment of the Malaysia Agreement 1963. Amendment of Malaysia Agreement 1963 happened on 28 August 1963. 28 August. You know what happened on 28 August 1963? All the partner for the Federation of Malaysia, which is United Kingdom, Federation of Malaya, North Borneo, Sarawak, and Singapore, agree that 31st August, the effective date for Malaysia, will be postponed to 16 September. So that is what happened on 28 August 1963. So all the partners agree that 31st August 1963 for the formation of Malaysia will be postponed to 16 September 1963. So that is what happened. Why they postponed the formation of Malaysia from 31st August to 16 September? It is because 16 September is the birthday of Lee Kuan Yew. No, I'm just kidding. But it's true. 16 September is the birthday of Lee Kuan Yew. But actually, why it was postponed from 31st August to 1963 is because there is a UN mission coming to Malaysia. They want to assess the opinion and the document, the election in Sabah and Sarawak. They want to assess the election in Sabah and Sarawak. Either the people of Sabah and Sarawak truly, either the process truly comply with UN Resolution 1541 based on the fresh approach. They want to assess if the result of the election really reflect that the people of Sabah and Sarawak really support Malaysia or not. So when UN mission come, they release the report on 14 September. That is the reason Malaysia formation of Malaysia on 31st August has been postponed to 16 September 1963 because of the UN mission coming to Malaysia to assess the opinion and the wishes of the people of Sabah and Sarawak in North Borneo and Sarawak. So that is what happened on 28 August. After that, after 28 August, now we look on declassified document. And then what happened is between 31st August, between 28 August, after the signing of the postponement of the Federation of Malaysia to 16 September, so this is happened to with Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew. Lee Kuan Yew take that opportunity to bargain more rights for Singapore. That is what happened between the 28 August and 16 September. And Singapore take that opportunity to make more condition and more rights for Singapore. So that is what happened. And Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew give a threat that if the condition that was signed based on the Ritz Agreement, there is another agreement, Ritz, that was signed by Tunku Abdul Rahman, but it's still not inserted into the Malaysia Agreement 1963. So when the Malaysia was postponed, Singapore take that opportunity to demand more for Singapore if they want to form Malaysia. So there's many agreement that have been signed on Ritz Hotel. I think that one is in July. I think there is more demand from Singapore that's still not resolved. So Singapore take that opportunity on 29 August, and 30 August, like that, 29 to 28 to 30 August, to make that demand. If the demand of Lee Kuan Yew for Singapore is not being given, so Lee Kuan Yew will declare Singapore become independent, unilateral declaration of independence for Singapore. So that is what happened. What happened that leading to 31st August 1963 is the demand for Singapore to get more rights for them for the formation of Malaysia. It is 31st August 1963 mostly is the affair of Singapore. It's not the affair of Sabah and Sarawak, Sabah Day. No, that 31st August 1963 actually the affair of Singapore, if you look at the declassified document. Because Singapore make a threat that they want to make a unilateral declaration of independence. And then, so after 30 August, they still demand everything. Singapore want to have tariff advisory board, more amendment on the constitution on Article 30, and they want to make a lot of amendment on the Malaysia agreement, so that Singapore will get more for themselves. And then when what they demand, Singapore demand, Lee Kuan Yew demand is not being given on 30 August, up to 30 August. So on 31st August 1963, when Lee Kuan Yew go to the rally with the people, he declared that Singapore become independent. He declared just like that on doing the rally, political rally. Lee Kuan Yew declared that Singapore become independent on 31st August 1963. After 31st August, what happened is that the British come and explain to, after 31st August, on just not even 24 hours, British give a reply to Lee Kuan Yew on 1st September. Just directly, not 1 week, not 1 month after that, British explained. Just not even 24 hours after 31st August, British already tell all of us that the independence of Singapore that was declared on 31st August 1963 was invalid. It has no legal validity. And Lee Kuan Yew understand it. He know that it's not legal, have no legal validity. And then Sabah and Sarawak also, yeah, Sabah Day, everything. It has nothing to do with Sabah and Sarawak actually. This is a political game of brinkmanship of Lee Kuan Yew. He tried to make more demand for Singapore, so he tried to make a unilateral declaration of independence, give a threat to the British like that. But he know that the British will not punish them because of the British also want Singapore to form Malaysia. So the British tell Lee Kuan Yew that there is a certain requirement for the British colony to become independent, because scientists tell that the grant of independence to territories under British sovereignty requires an Act of Parliament at Westminster. So the British must pass a bill on Independent Act of Singapore first before Singapore become independent. Otherwise, the declaration is meaningless. And then the British Malaysia Act, which is Malaysia Act 1963, Chapter 35 by the British, doesn't give independence for Singapore. It just transfer the sovereignty of Singapore, Sabah and Sarawak to Malaysia. Not Malaya. British transfer the sovereignty of Sabah, Sarawak and Singapore to Malaysia, new Federation of Malaysia. So that is, you must understand, we Sabah and Sarawak are not given to Malaya. Sabah and Sarawak are given to Malaysia. That is in the Malaysia Act 1963, Chapter 35. The British passed that act. So still, if you see some people said, oh, we have been given to Malaya, that is only political statement. It has no legal validity. In Malaysia Act 1963, Chapter 35, Sabah, Sarawak and Singapore was, our sovereignty was transferred to Malaysia, not Malaya. So stop telling and lying to the people that we are being transferred to Malaya. We are being transferred to Malaysia. That's why Malaysia is, all our rights is in Malaysia. So use our rights in Malaysia. So, and then the British also that say that announcement that made by Prime Minister of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, that future powers, including external affairs and defense, have been transferred from Britain to Singapore has no legal validity. When Singapore declared they become independent on 31st August 1963, the transfer of power on external affairs, on defense, is not given to Singapore. It has no legal validity at all. And the British government, Lee Kuan Yew also say, his British government also regard that Lee Kuan Yew's statement in the nature of symbolic expression only. It has nothing, it has no legal validity. It's just spontaneous enthusiasm. It has no, it is only symbolic expression. And then after Singapore make declaration of independence, unilateral declaration of independence, which is invalid, and Lee Kuan Yew also know about that, and then they make more demand, still more demand, discussion. Singapore and Federation of Malaya make more discussion between. Okay, I think I'm back. There is poor connection just now. Okay, now I recap back on 28th August. Malaysia was postponed from formation of Malaysia was postponed from 31st August to 16 September 1963, and then 29 August, 30 August and 31st August, Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew make a more demand for their rights on the formation of Malaysia, and 31st August, Singapore declare unilateral declaration of the independence, and not even 24 hours after that, 1st September, British explained that 31st August 1963 is not valid. That declaration is not valid. The British already also give it a statement in a newspaper on 2nd September, I think on 2nd September, that declaration is invalid. They tell the same thing. Independent of our colonies need a passing of a bill of Act of Independence from the British Parliament first. So the British already explained 2 times. How many times you want the British to explain to you? 10 times, 20 times, every year want to tell you that the Declaration of Independence on 31st August 1963 is invalid. How many times do you expect the British to explain to you? That one you ask yourself. How many times you want the British explain to you that 31st August 1963 Declaration of Independence by Singapore is invalid? It is invalid. 1st September, British explained. 2nd September, it is in the newspaper already. British already explained many times. So how many times you expect the British to explain to you? I think only people who are very idiots, stupid people, you want to be explained many times. Just once, enough. Second times, okay. No need to explain every year. British come again, explain to you. Come again. What do you expect? British will explain to you once. Seconds, okay, enough. It's in the newspaper already also. Don't expect the British to tell you the same thing over and over every year, every month. You need to investigate by yourself and you will find the answer there. So after 31st August, the independence still not being accepted. Still Lee Kuan Yew try to give a threat to British and Federation of Malaya if his demand is not being accepted. So Lee Kuan Yew said that on 12th September, if all the demand that Singapore want for them in the formation of Malaysia is not given to them when they form Malaysia, if there is no supplementary agreement given to them, on 12th September, Singapore will still want to declare another independence again on 12th September 1963. So this is only political gesture and wingmanship by Lee Kuan Yew to take more demand for Singapore. And then finally, British and Federation of Malaya and Singapore, they discuss these 3 states, UK, Federation of Malaya and Singapore, they discuss, and then finally they sign a new agreement. It's called United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and Federation of Malaya and Singapore supplementary agreement relating to Malaysia, signed at Kuala Lumpur on 11 September 1963. So how many of you have read this document number 10761? Malaysia Agreement, the document number, UN document number for Malaysia Agreement 1963 is 10761. Actually, there is another supplementary agreement for this Malaysia Agreement, number 10761. That is supplementary agreement relating to Malaysia, signed at Kuala Lumpur on 11 September 1963 between UK, Federation of Malaya and Singapore. There is another supplementary agreement relating to Malaysia, not just Malaysia Agreement 1963. So we have 2 agreements. And then we have amendment on 28 August. We have Malaysia Agreement 1963 signed on 9 July. And then we have amendment of Malaysia Agreement 1963 on 28 August 1963. And then we have supplementary agreement relating to Malaysia on 11 September 1963. After that agreement was signed, all the demand for Singapore by Singapore have been met, and then they agree to for the formation to still join the formation of Malaysia on 16 September 1963. So that is what happened on 31st August 1963. So what happened with Sabah and Sarawak at that time? At that time, Sabah and Sarawak, they don't know what is happening. They just suddenly Singapore want to declare independent on 31st August 1963, and then they just ikut-ikut lah, follow ya. They want to declare independent also, without any reason. The political maturity of our leader at that time is still very low. They don't know what is happening. Why Lee Kuan Yew making that kind of statement? It is Singapore only want to play. Lee Kuan Yew want to get more rights for Singapore. They want to give bargain. If you don't give me more rights on the formation of Malaysia, Singapore will declare independent. So it is a threat by Singapore, and then all the demand by Singapore have been met, and then they still join the formation of Malaysia in 1963 with a new supplementary agreement for Singapore, signed on 11 September 1963. You can Google this agreement, supplementary agreement relating to Malaysia, article number 10761. Google it, you can find a supplementary agreement between UK, Federation of Malaya, and Singapore. Sabah and Sarawak is not there because that is only between these three states. So that is what happened on 31st August 1963. Nothing. And then Sabah and Sarawak tried to declare also independent. And then the British governor tried to appease the people there that no, you are not independent on 31st August 1963. You doesn't met the requirement. That is, even if you declare there is just a defector self-government. Defector self-government, what is said defector self-government on 31st August, the governor said is defector self-government on 16 September 1963, not on 31st August 1963. So read the newspaper, not just read the heading. Okay, that is on 31st August 1957 and 31st August 1963, especially on 31st August 1963. If we want to, you see it, this kind of politicking by very smart politicking by Lee Kuan Yew is happening on 31st August 1963. We are living in 2021. How many people understand what is Lee Kuan Yew doing? How many people did our political people understand the political play by Singapore, by Lee Kuan Yew in 1963? We are living in 2021. We also, a lot of people don't understand what happened in 1963. So it just shows that our political maturity and understanding on what really happening is still very low among all of the people in Sabah and Sarawak. Because everybody just part to it. You must investigate properly, understand what is happening in 1963, what is the mindset of the people in 1963. Try to picture in 1963. If you can understand what happened in 1963, what Lee Kuan Yew are doing, then it's good for us. Everybody have very good political maturity. Adult suffrage. You know, when Malaysia was formed on 16 September 1963, one of the requirements for the formation of Malaysia is that the people in Sabah and Sarawak, when we go to the election, we all must achieve adult suffrage. Adult suffrage means you know what are happening. You know your political rights, everything, your rights as a human being, your fundamental liberties and independent everything. Adult suffrage. If you want to have a functional democracy, you must reach this adult suffrage. It's called adult suffrage. I don't know how to explain in Malay. I just call it political maturity. You must have maturity in politics so that you can vote properly, and because you know what you are voting for. So that is 31st August 1957 and 31st August 1960. Okay, I'm back. The internet is low again just now 3 times. I think because it is 30 August 1950. Today is 30 August. I think a lot of people are live streaming. Maybe the line is very bad for Maxis. I don't know. Okay, now we go to another topic Report of the Commission of Inquiry, North Borneo and Sarawak 1963, which is Cobalt Commission. So what is Cobalt Commission? Cobalt Commission. What is Cobalt Commission? Commission is, if you want to know what is Cobalt Commission, you look at the term of reference from Cobalt Commission. That is the first pages, one of the first pages on Cobalt Commission. If you want to understand what is Cobalt Commission is not referendum. A lot of people, when they come to Cobalt Commission, they said, oh, 1/3 agree Malaysia, 1/3 not agree, 1/3 agree with condition. That is not Cobalt Commission. That is only one of the opinion on the finding of the Cobalt Commission. You see, a lot of people said 1/3 agree, 1/3 don't agree with Malaysia, 1/3 agree with condition. That is only one small, very small finding, opinion on the finding of the Cobalt Commission. In the Cobalt Commission, there is hundred of findings. There is hundred of findings in Cobalt Commission. Cobalt Commission have 116 pages. So how many findings is there in the Cobalt Commission? So that is Cobalt Commission. There are many findings. And then to understand what is Cobalt Commission, you look at the terms of reference. But first, before we go to Cobalt Commission, this Cobalt Commission is a usual practice by the British when they decolonize their colonies. Cobalt Commission, when, for example, I tell you about the Federation of Malaya 1957. When they become independent, there is a commission also before they become independent. Federation of Malaya become independent. They call it Reed Commission. They also, that is Constitutional Commission for Federation of Malaya. When the African colonies of the British want to become independent, they make a commission also. All in the Caribbean, British colonies in Caribbean, before they become independent or don't want to become independent, there is a commission also. So it's normal practice by the British to make a commission for the local people before giving independence. Why the British make this commission? Or for all their colonies, not just Sabah and Sarawak. For all their colonies, they make a commission. For Sabah and Sarawak, we have Cobalt Commission. Federation of Malaya, they have Reed Commission. In the African countries, they have their own commission. Caribbean countries, they have their own commission. So why they are making this commission? Because when they try to decolonize African Federation, for example, or Pakistan or India, they doesn't make any commission. What happened to that countries after they leave? That countries crumble because they doesn't consult the people before they give independence. So after all this failure, so the British learn that before you give independence, you must consult the people first. So they consult the people before they give independence to African colonies, before they give independence to Caribbean, before they give independence to the Federation of Malaya, they make a commission. And in Sabah and Sarawak also we have commission before we are given independence. They call it Cobalt Commission. So there is nothing. Why give commission? No, this is normal. Get it? So Cobalt Commission is normal. There's nothing weird about it. It's a normal practice for British to give commission during the decolonization process of their colonies, including Sabah and Sarawak. So specifically for Cobalt Commission, now we talk about Cobalt Commission. Now you get the overall picture, the general picture of commission by the British. So the term of reference for Cobalt Commission is that we have only two terms of reference for Cobalt Commission: to ascertain the view of the people of North Borneo and Sarawak on the question of Malaysia, and based and in the light of the assessment of the view given by the people of Sabah and Sarawak, make recommendation. Okay, I'm back again. There is poor connection again. The fourth time, poor connection. Okay, I hope that is for the last time, poor connection. Okay, before we talk about Cobalt Commission, before Cobalt Commission start, there is one condition for Cobalt Commission to take place. How many people? I don't think anybody know about this one. Even if I post in Facebook, they still don't understand, because I don't tell you in person like this. There is one condition before Cobalt Commission. If British want to ascertain the view of the people, one condition that the Federation of Malaya must agree before Cobalt Commission. How many know what is this condition given by the British for Cobalt Commission to take place, so that Malaysia can be formed? That Federation of Malaya must agree. Federation of Malaya must agree one thing. One thing Federation of Malaya must agree before Cobalt Commission can take place, and that is the immigration right of Sabah and Sarawak. So before Cobalt Commission, okay, the British go to Malaya. It tell Malaya, before Cobalt Commission start, you must agree with the immigration right of Sabah and Sarawak. That's why our immigration right is very powerful. You see, even until today, Federation of Malaya doesn't dare to touch immigration right of Sabah and Sarawak, because immigration right is the condition for Cobalt Commission. If our rights on immigration is breached, there will be no Malaysia. If our immigration right has breached by the Federation of Malaya, that means Federation of Malaya doesn't agree anymore with Malaysia. Do you understand that one? So we have British telling Federation of Malaya, you must agree with immigration right of Sabah and Sarawak. After that, we can talk about Cobalt Commission, and then IGC report, and then Malaysia Agreement 1963. First, you must agree with immigration right of Sabah and Sarawak. And then that's, if you agree with the immigration right of Sabah and Sarawak, so we can start talk about the formation of Malaysia. That means if you agree with immigration right of Sabah and Sarawak, that means Federation of Malaya also agree with the formation of Malaysia, that intact with the immigration right. If immigration right of Sabah and Sarawak have been breached, that means Federation of Malaya doesn't agree with Malaysia anymore lah. That's why Cobalt Commission is very powerful. A lot of people don't understand this. That's why they don't know the value on how to use Cobalt Commission. So if it's like that, everybody understand, right? If that's why until today, Federation of Malaya doesn't dare to touch immigration right, immigration act of Sabah and Sarawak. If they touch, amend, or breach this immigration right, that means Federation of Malaya declare they don't agree anymore with Malaysia. Now we can take action. Okay, that is the condition for Cobalt Commission. After Malaya, Federation of Malaya agree that immigration right of Sabah and Sarawak will be given, and then the British start Cobalt Commission with two terms of reference, only two terms of reference, to ascertain the view of people of Sabah and Sarawak, and on light of their assessment of the view, make recommendation. So try to understand this one. I try to tell you slowly and easily to digest. The terms of reference for Cobalt Commission is, they want to ascertain the view of the people of Sabah and Sarawak. Either the view come from Sabah and Sarawak, or we agree head of state Yang di-Pertuan Agong will from the Sultan. We agree with English will become our language, official language. We don't agree with formation of Malaysia. We only agree with formation of Malaysia if we have enough representative in the parliament, everything that people of Sabah and Sarawak agree and not agree, that view for formation of Malaysia, that is Cobalt Commission. everything that was viewed, that was given, the finding given in the Cobalt Commission is for formation of Malaysia. You agree for formation of Malaysia. You don't agree also for formation of Malaysia. You agree with condition, also you for formation of Malaysia. Understand? That is Cobalt Commission. That is by the British to ascertain the view of the people. You agree, not agree, agree with condition for formation of Malaysia. Now I give you one example so that you can easily understand. If you want to buy a house, right? And then you go to that house. You look at the condition of that house. Okay, you want to buy that house, right? That house. You want to buy it? Okay, you agree that the car park is okay. The window is okay. I agree with the condition of the window, the condition of the door. I agree to buy the house. But I don't agree with the ceiling. You must repair it first. I don't agree with the ceiling, but still I want to buy that house, right? You don't agree. Either you agree or not agree with the condition of that house. The one that prepared that house for you will repair it so that you will agree with to buy that house later on. That is Cobalt Commission. You agree or not agree for formation of Malaysia. You agree or not with the condition of that house. After you agree with the car park just now, it's okay. The door is okay. The window is okay. But the ceiling is not okay. And then because you not agree the ceiling is like that, and then the supplier of that house will repair that house, the ceiling, to comply with your requirement that you not agree just now, so that you can agree with that to buy that house. That is Cobalt Commission. You agree or not agree is for formation of Malaysia. You agree that yang di-Pertuan Agong will come from the 11 state ruler of Federation of Malaysia. So you agree that one for formation of Malaysia. But some people, they don't agree that the representative of Sabah and Sarawak in the parliament will become very low, because our population is very low, right? So representative in parliament will be very low if you calculate. So Sabah and Sarawak don't agree with that condition. Okay, because of that finding, the British formulate a new calculation. So you must consider the size of the Sabah and Sarawak also if you want to give more parliament seat for Sabah and Sarawak. Okay, because you don't agree with that one, the British come with the solution, and then with that solution you agree with the formation of Malaysia. So that is Cobalt Commission. You want to ascertain your view. Your view, either you agree, not agree, you angry, you sad, you happy for formation of Malaysia. Okay, that is Cobalt Commission. There is so many findings in the Cobalt Commission. 116 pages. I think, yeah, 116. There is more than 244 findings. 248 findings on Cobalt Commission. You can read all of that finding. People are angry, people are agree, people don't agree, people agree with condition. So I think everybody now understand what is Cobalt Commission. Okay, all the term, all the view of the people is written in the Cobalt Commission, and it is part of the framer intention for the formation of Malaysia. So we can use Cobalt Commission. This is our intention for Malaysia. You can fight for it by using all the views of the people in Cobalt Commission. I think that's all for today. I think everybody now understand what is Cobalt Commission. A lot of people don't understand Cobalt Commission. They just said, oh, wanted agree, wanted don't agree, wanted agree with condition. People know nothing about Cobalt Commission. And I just try to give you understanding of Cobalt Commission. It is a commission by the British to understand the view of the people, to establish Malaysia for the benefit of the Sabah and Sarawak. Okay, I think that's all for tonight. Everybody already understand what is 31st August 1957 and 31st August 1963. 31st August 1963 is the affair of Singapore only. Sabah and Sarawak only terikut-ikut, nothing to do with us. It is only the affair of Lee Kuan Yew to get more rights, and in the end, Singapore get this supplementary agreement relating to Malaysia, document 10761. You can refer to that one. It was signed on 11 September 1963. So Singapore get more rights after they try to make a political play. Smart, very very smart by Lee Kuan Yew at that time on 31st August 1963 to get more rights for Singapore in the formation of Malaysia. And it has nothing to do with Sabah and Sarawak. 31st August 1963. 31st August 1957 also have nothing to do with Sabah and Sarawak. It is independent of the Federation of Malaya. And 31st August 1963 also have nothing to do with Sabah and Sarawak. It is the affair of Singapore, the political play by Singapore, by Lee Kuan Yew to get more rights for Singapore. If you can understand the political play by Lee Kuan Yew, and then you are very smart. If a lot of people, we live in 2021, still a lot of people don't understand what Lee Kuan Yew are doing on 31st August 1963. You see how smart is Lee Kuan Yew. So you need to be smarter than him to understand what Lee Kuan Yew are doing in 1963. We live in 2021. Still we don't understand what a lot of people don't understand. So there is a concern for us in Sabah and Sarawak. I think that's all for tonight. Thank you for watching and stick with me. Maybe next time we have more discussion on Malaysia Agreement 1963 based on the political situation in Malaysia. If there is any interesting topic, just let me know. I think it's almost 1 hour already. Ciao. See you soon. See you anywhere in Facebook, social media, and in my YouTube. Thank you for watching.